Yo! Ladies and gentlemen, what a great day it is. I woke up, I had a good day, got a video out pretty early to you guys. Sun was in my face, went to the gym, and I got some more Invincible slander loaded up and ready to go in the tank. God is good, ladies and gentlemen. God is good. So with Invincible Season 3 coming to a close in this upcoming week with the Conquest fight, one of the best fights in all of comic book media. I'm using this as hyperbole, but seriously, this is one of the most hyped fights in all of comics. If you talk to anybody that knows anything about the medium, a lot of people are looking forward to what Invincible Season 3 is going to wrap up with. And I will say that with the penultimate episode of the Invincible War, I think that the studio actually did a very good job and actually stepped it up with the animation quality. So I'm very happy to see that the Invincible War actually got this respect that it deserves. But with all the praise going on for the latest episode, a lot of people feel that Season 3 of Invincible was a mixed bag for the most part. There were some good things that people liked, and there were some absolutely frustrating aspects of the story. And so for today's video, we're gonna dive deep into that, what I think is Invincible Season 3's biggest issue. Obviously, before we get too deep into the video, please make sure you leave a like and subscribe. We are on our way to 20,000 subscribers. I would love to have you around. You seem like a good person. You seem like you give nice hugs, and you seem like you smell nice, which you're doing better than most of my fans, because those of you niggas stink. I'm kidding. Not really. Or am I? With the beginning of Season 3 with Invincible, we understand that Mark has been through a training arc. He is trying to level up his abilities in preparation for the Viltrumite invasion on Earth, and he's still emotionally reeling from seemingly killing Angstrom Levy in the alternate dimension that Levy tried to strand him in. And throughout the season, he deals with this idea of, am I a good person? I killed somebody. I can never do that again. And so I understand what the show was fundamentally trying to go for, and my issue isn't with Mark not wanting to kill people. It's still, that is a horrible, terrible act. Taking a life is something that very few people can come back from. Does it mean you're a bad person? No. Look at soldiers when it comes to war and protecting their respective countries. But obviously, the show is trying to sell this idea that there are some people that just need to go. I don't mind that at all. My issue is how they frame Mark's fights, and they make Mark look damn near incompetent in a lot of the fights that he's in. Now, moving past where we are now in the show, this issue gets resolved for the most part. But with Season 3, a lot of people were frustrated because they're sitting here and we're like, okay, Mark is in a training arc. He's 138% stronger than he was when Anisha showed up. Oh shit, he might be cooking. He got the blue suit. He about to start putting some belt to ass. Let's go. And then we see throughout the season, he's just kind of middling around until he has an emotional outburst and actually decides to end a fight. Understand something. I don't have an issue with Mark holding back. What I have an issue is him getting bitched and letting himself get pummeled. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm gonna try to keep my power scaling brain turned off for this video, but I'm just trying to come at it with logic. If Marcus Sebastian Grayson can punch a nuke, if he can fly to the moon in under an hour, if he can throw a baseball from one side of the earth to the other in less than a minute, why on God's green earth are you letting yourself given the runaround by Powerplex? Now, I understand the message of Powerplex, and I actually do enjoy that scene for what it was, but what doesn't make sense to me is why Mark allows himself to tank all this damage. And when I say, I said tank, that's actually the wrong word to use. He just allows himself to just get, like, I know some of y'all saw that one tweet that I made where, like, at the beginning of Season 2, it was like, oh, Mark's been doing a little bit of training, and then he just absolutely just gets jumped by the Mauler twins, even though he could fucking fly, and they, like, beat his teeth out and all this. Like, he just looks like a fucking idiot. They make Mark look totally incompetent in these fights. It's so frustrating as a viewer because there are times where I'm looking at the screen and I'm like, bro, put your hands up, protect your neck, tuck your chin, bro. Mark cannot fight unless the script wants him to have an emotional outburst and get a one-up on whoever he's fighting. It's frustrating. I understand that it is not in Mark's nature to want to hurt people. I get that. I totally understand that. And I understand that Mark is a flawed human being, but why do we have the two extremes? We have Mark either, I'm gonna bash your skull in, or I'm gonna let myself take this damage because I can't afford to kill somebody. There's no in between. The thing with fights, especially in the shonen genre when we talk about anime is it's a war of attrition, a tug of war. What is more interesting? And I will ask you as a viewer, what is more interesting to see? 3 bodybuilders on each side trying to play tug of war and win victorious over the other side, or 3 bodybuilders and 2 babies on the other side? What's more interesting to you? You know what's gonna happen. Or on the flip side, 3 bodybuilders on each side around the same strength-ish, and then one side just gives up and lets the other side take the dub. It's not as entertaining. It's frustrating. Here's an example of what I mean when it make Mark look incompetent. Look at the bugs with Doc Seisman. I want to talk about the actual bugs themselves because, oh, they were made in the core of the earth or whatever, even though Adissa like busted through a kaiju like it was nothing. Whatever. Oh, Mark, you're taking this. Yeah, I fucking doubt it. But throughout this fight, Mark is just staring at Doc Seisman. He's like, you can't do this. What? You can't. And he's fighting the bugs. At no point does he make an effort to go after Doc Seismic. Darkwing has to go after Dark Seismic. And Mark is just staring at him. He gets put in the bubble. What are you doing? And people are like, oh, Mark can't rush over to him because he might kill him accidentally. People act like he can't just stop before he grabs him. Notice how quick he is yoking up Cecil in some of these scenes when Cecil tries to talk to his family. Why are you not doing this to Powerplex? Why are you not doing this to Doc Seismic? It's frustrating as a viewer. Get the fuck up! Put stand on some business, bro. Come on. Again, I say this, and the Conquest fight is coming, and then obviously later on, like Mark's, like his abilities, yes, he does actually start acting like a rational human being. But you see what I mean, right? Even when Mark was fighting the Immortal in the future, he was just letting Immortal punch him and put his hands on him. He wasn't even trying to defend himself. He was just running away. He didn't try to restrain him or anything. He just got mad and then ripped his head off. Now, yes, I understand that it's kind of like sometimes it's among the concept of like whenever you hold a baby and they pull your hair because they don't know their own strength. Like, yeah, I know I'm stronger than a baby, but I know I can just move the baby's hand or just like gently remove them. Mark doesn't have to kill everybody. That's not what we're saying. And yes, I know that's the message the show is trying to get, but you know who doesn't have these issues that I'm talking about? You know who's another hero that actually does have a similar thing when it comes to killing people? Spider-Man. Spider-Man has the same exact qualms about killing people that Mark does. He actually carries it consistently. The only time Spider-Man has willingly killed somebody in comics is when he accidentally punched someone who he thought was Wolverine. It turns out that this woman was a completely different person, and he was traumatized. He was never the same. Again, people bring this up, but in the Superior Spider-Man run where Dr. Octopus is in Peter's body and he actually gets into a fight with Scorpion, he accidentally punches Scorpion's jaw off because he didn't know how much Peter was holding back. Daredevil actually knows it's Spider-Man because when Taskmaster was posing as Spider-Man, he could tell it was not Peter from how dense his muscles were, because Peter is this hulking mass of tension and strength. Peter's strength is terrifying, and Peter is constantly holding himself back. And Peter does get beat up. Spider-Man does get beaten up, but you know why he's the GOAT? You know why he's the greatest superhero of all time? Is because he still gets shit done. He doesn't let himself constantly get beat up on. He still gives it back. He still solves the issue. With Mark, it's just one thing or the other. There's no in between. It's not a battle of attrition when it comes to this battle. Either he's getting his skull caved in, or actually he's like, you know what? I'm stronger than you. I feel like the strongest superhero on Earth now. Just throughout the entire season of season 3, it never felt like Mark was the strongest hero on Earth. It never felt like that. And again, I don't want like a solo leveling type power fantasy. But when you tell me that Mark is stronger, but you never show it, ugh. And I know some people bring up their Reaniman and, oh, the Reaniman were jumping Mark in season 1. He's effortlessly taking them apart. The Reaniman situation's already weird because they're just cyborgs, but like how strong are they realistically? But then like Omni-Man just tore them apart. So that's weird. Again, I'm trying not to power scale, but you know what I mean. I definitely think that a lot of people are coping whenever they give the excuse of Mark is holding back whenever they talk about season 3, people's qualms with it, but it's just not entertaining sometimes because we know Mark's gonna get beat the fuck up. We already know that Mark is just gonna get all frustrated and mad and then actually, you know, have a tantrum and then he actually decide to get something done. But I'm glad that this is behind us. It is kind of frustrating because we dealt with this in season 2, in the middle of season 2, when he was on the Thraxan planet and Omni-Man was saying, you're going to die. These people are going to die because of you if you don't actually get the fuck up. So where this issue carries over into season 2, it kind of feels like we've already seen this before. But in my personal opinion, this does feel like the weakest part of Invincible season 3. And I'm very curious to see what you guys think. Do you guys think this is the weakest part of season 3? Do you guys think saying that something else was a major issue. I do feel like the animation has stepped up. I feel like the episode with the dragon was obviously a low priority episode because they had to do some crazy shit with the Invincible War and the finale, so I forgive it. But overall, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. It's me, boy Daffy. Guys, thank you guys so much for joining me on this video. Please make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode. Y'all make sure you take care of yourselves, guys, and have a good one. Peace.